A teenager had the fright of his life when an earache turned out to be the fault of what? Something caused this poor kid an earache, and we've heard stories lately. I know that I have heard stories lately of different types of creatures being found in the orifices of different people's body parts. And this poor kid had an earache. And so once again, we have another story of a kid waking up and finding something in his ear. A teenager had the fright of his life when an earache turned out to be the fault of a 4-inch long centipede. Have you seen these? These things are nasty. They've got 1,000 legs. I think that's what Centipedes is. Centa means 1,000 or something. But when Grant Body woke up on Tuesday, he had a terrible pain in his left ear. And when the 14-year-old felt something inside, oh, man. He grabbed the live centipede inside. Mom, Angela, popped it in a plastic bag and whisked Grant to Saline Memorial Hospital near their home in Saline, Arkansas, to seek treatment for the pain. Doctors found some scratches on Grant's eardrum, which they treated before releasing him. Although his mom says they're unsure where the insect came from, Grant had recently been swimming outdoors. So, parents, remember that as you send your bratty little kids out swimming this rest of this summer. It's almost over, by the way. I read something today where this is the last month of 2015 that there will not be there will not be football. After this month, for the rest of this year, there will be NFL and college and whatever you have. So that's very exciting. Looking forward to the Tennessee Titans. Now, we go from Centipedes in Arkansas to mangoes in Florida. Christopher Ritchie was on his way home from an anniversary party with his wife when he saw it. He saw it on the side of the road, the perfect-looking mango. But his delight was short-lived, for as soon as he plucked the mango from the tree, a Sanibel Island, Florida homeowner accused him of theft and brought out her .22 caliber BB gun. Local authorities say she shot out the back of Richie's car window. I wouldn't have even turned around for it if it wasn't such a good-looking mango. So he almost got shot because of the mango. So those are some good mood stories for you. Let's start you off into good mood land here for the Troy Show. Because we're going to talk about some things today. To me, it's just annoying. I think we'll get to it. We're going to talk about the flag. The flag, ladies and gentlemen. Because it has been a huge issue. For the life of me, I don't know why it has become so big. The thing that started it, if you will recall, is the shooting in Charleston. A white man goes into a church building. He's in there for an hour. He prays with the rest of this class in this Bible study. Sits in there for an hour. Walks out, and he comes back in and starts blowing everybody away. Reloads his gun 5 times. And so the politicization of this incident starts right there. Because you have the gun people who say, well, if someone had a gun there, then after he reloaded once, when he was reloading once, they could have blown him away. And so that has become an issue. Now, the very strange thing about the whole Charleston thing is not just how horrible it is, or however Dylan Roof got his weapon. The strange thing about this story is they talked about gun control for like literally a day. And then after that, they started focusing on the Confederate flag. Now, why would they do that? I've got a conspiracy theory here that I think might ring true to this. I don't know for sure. But, I mean, let's think about what happened here. You have a white man going into a very well-known black church, historically famous black church. And he goes in there, a white man who claims to his roommate, either days or hours or weeks before, that what he wants to do is he wants to create a race war in our country. He's incredibly racist. Strange thing is, a high percentage of his friends on Facebook were black. So that's strange in and of itself. And there's some people who said that his mood changed from racist one day to very jovial to different races the next day. It's hard to explain what happened in this situation. But you have a white man who is racist, allegedly. He wants to start a race war. He goes into a historically famous black church, known famously for a lot of the abuse that was taking place in the early days of racism in our country. And he goes in, and he kills 9 black people. While he's shooting them, he's saying to them, I have to do this because your people are raping our women and taking over the country. So he's obviously a racist. So if there's going to be a race war, if there's going to be riots in the streets, if there's going to be anything that has happened in Ferguson, in Baltimore, in anywhere else in our country right now, if there's going to be some kind of riot, it should have happened here. Now, they're not going to be protesting the police because the police didn't have anything to do with this situation. But there would be all the reason to protest the hatred of black people by the white racists. But it didn't happen in this situation. In fact, what you have is a congregation of God's people standing outside the church praying, asking God for justice, not begging the president for justice, not begging Al Sharpton for justice, not asking anybody for justice, but praying to God for justice. In the days after this, when Dylan Roof is captured in court, the next day he's captured, the family members of those who were killed were given the opportunity to speak to Dylan Roof. Now, I've heard, I've seen on YouTube and different videos of people just hysterically upset with somebody who killed their loved one. Understandably so. Screaming at the person, "Why did you do this? Who do you think you are?" Because it's a horrible situation. Someone goes in and steals the life of someone you love, takes them right out of your hands, without giving you any opportunity to say, I love you, to say goodbye, to say anything. He goes in and he steals the life from you. Instead of yelling at him, what they do is they look at this man. He's not in the room with them. They're looking at a monitor. He's in a completely separate room. But what they do is they say to him, I forgive you. I forgive you. You killed my mother, you killed my brother, you killed my sister, my uncle, my husband, my wife, but I forgive you. Now, this is a forgiveness that I will never, hopefully never be able to understand in my life. I know that God forgives like this, and I've said before, and I'll tell you again, I don't understand how forgiveness works like this. Because in my opinion, murder is something that cannot be forgiven. Because you're stealing a life. You're taking something away from somebody that is so incredibly valuable. But they said, I forgive you. Just change, repent, ask God for forgiveness. And so you would have to imagine the days after this, that people would be in the streets burning the city down, bringing to fruition a plan that Dylann Roof had hoped to accomplish himself, starting a race war. But it didn't happen. People weren't calling for the heads of any white people. Al Sharpton came to town, but there was really no news of what was said there, or he wasn't on the screens, and as far as I could see, he wasn't on TV being publicized in this event. President Obama did the funeral service, but as far as that, I have not seen any other controversial political figure in the news even involved in this situation. Because this did not become a race issue. Far from it. What this became was an issue about forgiveness. That's the controversial thing about this. Forgiveness. And so in my opinion, my conspiracy theory here is that because what a lot of people, I contend, a lot of people were hoping and begging for a race war to begin. But that didn't happen. And so that's why I think this whole thing with the flag became the issue. Because if they can't get the people, they will figure out another way to divide the people, another way to make this about race. And the way they did it was they saw pictures of Dylann Roof with the Confederate flag. So what this became was, it no longer became about gun control. It was no longer about mental health. What this has been about since this happened was the Confederate flag. I'm sorry, not since this happened, but a few days after, about the Confederate flag. And this has gotten so insane. There are people climbing flagpoles, illegally climbing flagpoles, to pull the flag down. There are stores, Walmart, JCPenney, whoever else, taking anything Confederate out of their stores. And ladies and gentlemen, the worst thing that could happen, I read, happened today. They are removing from TV land the Dukes of Hazzard. Yes! Thank goodness. Because that is what this has become all about. Let's remove the Dukes of Hazzard. Let's remove the big 88 car because it's got the flag on there. So this whole thing with the flag has just become insane. I cannot understand why this is still going on, why they still feel like this flag issue is still the thing. But I think it has to be because it's become a divisive thing, and it has. You have people fighting now. They have their war now. But people are fighting each other over the flag. And you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? You know, the question was asked, should they remove the flag from the Capitol pole or whatever? Should they take the flag down? That was the question. And my thinking is, yeah, why not? Sure. You know, I don't care. Again, my thinking has changed a lot over the years. My thinking has changed from digging my foot in the ground and saying, heck no, do we remove this thing? No way. But I think my thinking is evolving, because I don't, you know, I'm tired of all the fighting. To be honest, I'm tired of the race stuff. I'm tired of all the racial stuff. Now, I will admit to you, yes, there is a racial problem. I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 black churches that have burned down this week. So we definitely do have some kind of an issue. There is a racial problem in our country. There is. I'm not racist. I don't identify people by race. I don't identify people based on their sexual desires. I identify people based on their character. Now, I do have to identify people sometime. Hey, do you know that one guy, that black guy? You know, yes, I do have to identify somebody based on description occasionally, to give somebody the idea of who it is I'm talking about. But the racial thing is annoying to me, because there are powerful people who understand how divisive this is, especially now, and they will use it for some reason. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but people are fanning the flames. I don't know who's doing it. I don't know if it's the liberals, the Democrats, the conservatives, or the Republicans. I don't know who's doing it, but somebody is out there fanning the flames to get people angry with each other. What are they trying to accomplish? What goal are they trying to reach? What plan are they trying to bring to fruition? I don't know. I have no idea. My conspiracy theory doesn't go out that far. But my theory is that because they couldn't get the race war with the people fighting and protesting there in Charleston, because they couldn't get it that way, they had to figure out another way. And so they said, "Oh, look at Roof. He's wrapped himself around with the Confederate flag. That is how we'll get this." And they did. And it's been annoying. Ever since then, it's been annoying. I don't know how it started. I don't know who's the first person who pointed it out. Somebody made a point I heard on the radio, MSNBC, or one of those stations. They were talking about how offensive it was, even the appearance of the flag, how offensive it was. So how did they handle this situation? Well, they had one of their cameras shooting the flag all day long, live. And so at any moment of the day, you could see the flag live on your TV. It is so offensive to look at, but MSNBC is going to shoot it all day long live for your viewing enjoyment. I hope you liked it. So I just think that we are going in a bad direction. It just feels like somebody's. It just feels like our culture is going the wrong way. Because there's no God. People are trying to. It feels like they're trying to take God out of our culture. It feels like people are sticking their fingers in the eyes of Christians. Somebody today just applied for a license to marry his 2 wives. His 2 wives. Guys, this is where it's going. This is where it's all going. You cannot make exception for one group of people and then to say, oh, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. It's happening today. So it's craziness. And we don't have anybody standing up. We don't have any heroes out there. Now, I say heroes because we lost one recently. His name was Sir Nicholas Winton. And this guy was a big-time hero. Let me just play a little bit of this audio from, I don't know, it looks like it may have been from 1988, from That's Life or This Is Your Life or whatever the show is. Take a listen to this real quick. But before you listen to it, let me kind of set the stage here. It's an audience full of people. There's maybe 100 or 200 people in this room, and it's people from all different ages. And you have Sir Winton, Sir Nicholas Winton, sitting in the front row. And a lady is reading in this book all of the names of the people that he saved. Now, here's the audio from that episode.
All the letters. But back here is the list of all the children. This is Vera Diamant, now Vera Gissing. We did find her name on his list. Vera Gissing is with us here tonight. Hello, Vera.
And she's sitting right next to him.
I should tell you that you are actually sitting next to Nicholas Winton.
And he looks over at her, and he's shocked.
And it was just so wonderful, so terribly, terribly touching.
As everybody in the audience is cheering him, Sir Winton is tearing up. He's wiping his eyes.
Is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you stand up, please?
At this point, every person in the audience stands up. About 100 people in this room stand up. And I love looking at this guy's expression because he's looking around and you can tell he is just shocked. Because he probably never in his life believed that he would see these people again. These are people that he saved from being killed in Nazi death camps. He had this very strategic plan where he would go in, and some way or another, he had over 700 kids saved their life. Because he saw that there was something bad going on, and he said, I'm going to stand up for something, and I'm going to do something. Right now, who are the heroes in our culture right now? Who are the heroes of people who we stand up for, people who stand up for others? Well, the heroes right now are Caitlyn Jenner. She's a huge hero. Why? Because she's had a sex change or whatever it is. She's a hero. Who are the heroes? The woman who climbed the pole and illegally took down that flag? I mean, she stood for something, but she went against the grain. She stood for something and she took the flag down, but is she a hero? Who are the heroes in our culture? There are none. Because nobody wants to stand up for anything. Nobody wants to go against the grain. Nobody wants to say, you know what? I don't know about this same-sex marriage thing. I don't know about this. You know, I don't know that talking about this Confederate flag is a good thing. I don't know, because it's just going to make people angry. It's going to have people fighting each other. I don't know if this is a good thing. Maybe we should get them together and talk. Who are the people who are going to do that now? Who are those calling out for peace? Who are the believers out there who are standing up and standing out and saying, let's talk this out. Do not force me to do something that's against my conscience. Who are those standing out to say, hey, listen, let's just take the flag down. We can still have our pride. We can still have whatever we want. But it is offensive to some people. I mean, let's face it. There's nobody alive right now who were slaves. There is nobody alive right now who experienced slavery. But there are people right now who have been told their entire lives that the white man is going to hold them down. And whether you like it or not, that is what they believe. Whether it's right or wrong, that is what they believe. And it's a deeply felt thing. And so for a lot of people, the flag is very offensive. It stands for persecution and slavery and abuse and death. And so I say, let's take it down. Let's show mercy. Let's show grace. Let's not get wrapped up around this. It's just a flag. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong opinion, but to me, it does. I would rather have peace than pride. And so I would love to know what you would like to have. What do you think about all this? Please give the official Troy Show voicemail a call, would you? 707-874-TROY. Facebook.com/The Troy Show is one of the homes of The Troy Show. TheTroyShow.podbean.com is where you'll find most of the episodes. And if you go to Podomatic, I've got a ton of episodes on there too. Most of the same episodes, but I've been able to store more on that page. So go there, look up the show, go to iTunes, look up The Troy Show, subscribe, leave a very nice comment. And, 4th of July is here. I'm not going to shoot off any firecrackers, I don't think. We are going to have a bunch of dead carcass meat. And the ribular, the ribicular section of the dead carcass, roasted on a very fine cooking instrument. So enjoy your 4th of July. I might have another episode here this week. I will probably have one on Friday. So look forward to that. And until then, folks, remember...